welcome to another episode of the Philosophy Podcast. I am your host, Controversy, and to my right, ladies and gentlemen, my co-host, none other than Mr.
Darren Love.
And together, we are the Philosophy Podcast. Thank you to you guys for tuning in to a brand new episode. Thank you for tuning in once again this week, guys. And yeah, like we always say, what is on the agenda for this week, mate? What is today's
hot topic?
That's it. What is today's hot topic, mate?
I thought we'd talk about old age and retirement today.
So today, this week's episode is all about
old age, really, basically, and
retirement.
You know, it's something that's going to happen. Well, not to all of us, because we don't all reach old age.
Yeah,
true. And some people die early.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, unfortunately, of course.
So I mean, if you're alive, really, if you're old, very old,
it's a blessing in a way.
Well, and basically, you're quite successful, really, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? You're kind of, the older you are, the more successful you are.
You manage to survive and navigate.
For a very long time.
Navigate the trials and tribulations of life.
Yeah, you can imagine sort of being 110. What an achievement, really.
Well, I was going to say, a lady where I work, yeah, she's 106.
Wow.
And she's still moving around. She's still physically fit, mentally sharp, everything. She's nothing wrong with her whatsoever. She's obviously she has her moments here and there of not feeling a bit weak or occasionally because she's 106, so of course. But generally, like most of the time, she's just like it's just amazing to see someone at 106 is able to so physically fit, so mentally on point and sharp, and so some people, like you said, are very. I think like you said, it's kind of.
I think it depends on your attitude, doesn't it? I think
yeah.
You've got to, if you want to live and survive, I think you've got to work at it every day,
Yeah.
And don't give up, and. I think that lady's got a positive attitude.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she gets out of bed basically,
Definitely, every morning, same time. She got a routine. Get up, same time every day. She even does at her age. She tries to do yoga.
Wow. See, I think that's really important.
And tries to do her breathing and stretching, and even sometimes she has to do it in the chair while she's sat down. But she'll still sit there and try to stretch her legs and her arms and do certain exercises and do her breathing and
Personally, I think that's really important in
life. Got the right.
Everybody, right? Mm. I mean, it's okay relaxing in life, like to music and things like that, but that's not meditating. Mm. Meditating is completely being switched off to, to everything in life. You know what I mean? And I think that lady, what you're talking about, sounds like she's got her head screwed on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she meditates.
Yeah.
It's very important, and meditation, I think people don't do enough. Do you know what I mean? I don't think they get enough time to do it. Some people, whatever, I think it's important to meditate at least an hour a day, and I'm talking about completely silence. Do you know what I mean? Completely away from any noise or anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's really healthy.
I agree. Yeah.
And I think if you do that every day, you're more likely to reach an old age.
Yeah.
If you sort of mean, I think
you've got to take a little bit of time just to kind of think, just kind of have some deep thinking, kind of get lost in your thoughts and just get some time, just just a little time to think for yourself, but get away from all the distractions, all the whatever, everyone needs at least half an hour to an hour a day at a minimum of time of just peace and quiet and silence, time for themselves.
It's a bit like sleep in a kind of way, but you're awake, okay, and you're meditating with your own thoughts and reflection of what's happened the day before, whatever, I think it's just important that everybody does that once a day, do you know what I mean? Just because I think everybody needs their own space, whether you're married or whatever. Yeah. It's good to get away for at least an hour.
Yeah.
Absolutely everyone. And I mean, some people do it before they go to sleep. Do you know what I mean? They lay down for an hour and they like to sort of meditate and then go to sleep. Do you know what I mean? That's how you do it. Some people struggle to get to sleep. Do you know what I mean? And they're fighting. They're annoyed because they can't get to sleep. I mean, it's happened to me, especially when you got to get up in the morning. You got a job. Do you know what I mean? And when you're getting annoyed with sleeping, you know, you're getting angry because you can't sleep, it makes it worse.
It makes it worse. There's no point. There's no point. It's just try and relax. Just try and make yourself as relaxed as possible.
Just meditate. Do you know what I mean? And meditation is near enough like sleep. You know, it nearly is, honestly. But sleep is completely different because you know, your actual mind needs a break.
Yes.
You know, sometimes, you know, that's why I think sleep is important for the mind, because it just needs a break of thinking, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, what does the mind do all day long? I know what my mind does. It thinks all day, you know what I mean? It's thinking about making a cup of tea, doing this, you know what I mean? It's always thinking.
Yeah, about the next thing.
You know. I mean, I think, like, one good thing about getting old, which people don't realise, I don't think, you know, because our bodies get older, as we know, it kind of gets harder, really, life. As you get older, in a kind of way, you know. But people forget that you get wiser every day.
Yeah.
You know, that's one good thing about getting older, really. You should get wiser. You know. But some people get older and they start losing their memories.
Yeah.
Which is an awful thing.
Quite sad, yeah.
That's one thing I don't really want to happen to me in life. You know, your memories are everything, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? Absolutely everything. You know, can you imagine? So I mean, this happens to people. They have an accident or something, you know, and they're not, you know, they knock their head.
Yeah.
And they forget who they were married to.
Yeah.
Or they forget who they are.
It happens, mate.
They forget who they are.
It happens, mate. I've worked with people, obviously being in the healthcare industry for a long time myself. Obviously, I've seen it firsthand, mate. I've seen people with all different forms of, like, mental health and stuff like that, you know, predominantly older people as well, and dementia and Alzheimer's and all these different things that affect people. Like, it's quite sad sometimes to watch. You know, you're literally watching someone deteriorate on a daily basis. Sometimes, like, you know, it's
getting older and getting older each day.
And like you said, sometimes their memory bank just completely fades away. They forget sometimes, you know, what time, you know, sometimes they just lose, you know,
focus.
Yeah, but not even that. But like as you get older, sometimes some people, they just, you know, slowly they just lose all their faculties, and you can kind of become completely dependent on other people to kind of look after you in every way, you know. Your finances, you know, your financial affairs, you know, someone to look after you as well. A lot of, you know, people, that's why a lot of people move into home, especially here in the UK and stuff. People, you know, they're going to retire, you know,
they can afford it.
Retirement homes and care homes and stuff, you know, because they need help. They need someone to come and help them in the mornings to get up and get washed and dressed and make their bed and get their food for them and do all these things, because they just can't do it.
I mean, some people are worse than others, aren't they? You know?
Yeah.
And some people have got other different problems, and you know, but I think that, I mean, mental health itself, there's so many different problems out there, you know, and I think everyone's got different mental health problems in their own different way.
Yeah.
You know, or depending on their life and attitude, I think sometimes, you know, the life they've had. I mean, can you imagine being, say, 100 years of age,
Yeah.
Your mum's not going to be alive, is she, anymore? Do you know what I mean,
Yeah.
Or your dad.
Yeah.
I mean, no one, your family's, you know, most of your friends are probably dead too, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you are virtually left on your own, you know, and you sort of think at that age, some people do you know what I mean? They become very lonely.
Yeah.
You know? That's another thing, loneliness, you know. Loneliness is another subject to talk about, really, you know, because there's a lot of lonely people in this world, you know what I mean, and especially when you get older, you get lonely.
Yeah.
You know, your family's growing up, maybe, you know, they moved away, you know, to a different country, you know, and you don't see them anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They've taken off from the nest.
Yeah.
You know, and I think there's there's all kinds of different people out there, you know, struggling with their age. And then there's a quote, what's that quote I shared on Facebook? It said that
enjoy
your youth.
Yeah.
Because this is the youngest will ever be at this moment.
Yeah, this current point.
At this current point, do you know what I mean? So it's quite a good quote, really, you know. You know, because you do slowly get old and you don't really realise it. Do you know what I mean?
Time goes by really quickly. People, as you know, as soon as you start to realise this, mate, as soon as you start to realise how fast time really does go, it makes you say, you know, you've got to start living your life.
Well, yeah. I mean,
a lot of people don't live their life, you know. Don't just enjoy every day, you know. They don't live their life, you know. They live for the weekends, you know. They get through Monday to Friday. Hope just living for the weekend. I'm not one of those kind of people. I enjoy, like we always talk about. We enjoy every day, you know. Every day you wake up is a blessing, you know. That is the blessing, you know. If someone was to offer you 10 million today, and tell you the only thing is that you won't be able to wake up tomorrow, you're not going to take the money, are you? You get what I'm saying? We all understand that life is much more precious and valuable than anything else. So if someone came to you today and offered you, say, okay, Mr. Whoever, Mr. John Doe, I'm offering you 10 million right now this morning. I can give you 10 million, but the only compromise is that you're not going to wake up tomorrow morning. Today's your last day on earth.
No, you would take it, would you?
You're not going to take the money, are you?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
And some people would, you can't pay for another day, really. You know what I mean? You can't. No. It don't cost money. You get them free in a kind of way. You know. Once you're born, that's it. You get days and days and days, and you're just slowly growing older. You know.
Yeah.
And I mean, to me, right? Honestly, I'm 57 now. I'm nearly 60, whatever. And it feels like I was born yesterday in a kind of way. And that's how magical the memory is.
Yeah.
It's a time machine. The memory is a time machine. You know. And it can also go in the future, do you know what I mean? You can imagine when you're old. Like I said in previous episodes, the price of living's going up, do you know what I mean? So I'm thinking, when I get old, I'm probably need in 20 years' time, probably need a walking stick, because struggling to get around now, and then the price of living's gone right up, do you know what I mean? Because it just goes up and up, do you know what I mean? So, I mean, the price of living doesn't go up for the birds or anything, just for people. Which is quite weird, and it's daunting to know, because I know I've lived 5 decades whatever now, and I see the price of living going up and up every year. It doesn't go down. So there's the future for you a little bit, a little bit of insight of the future. You can kind of see the future.
Well, right now I don't know if the UK public are even aware of it, but I'm not going to go into great detail, because obviously this is YouTube and we don't want our videos to get kind of taken down or anything like that. But right now the reason inflation is so high is because the UK public is basically funding the war in Ukraine. A lot of our tax, why inflation is so high right now, a lot of the money, a lot of the tax and everything else, etc. is going towards Ukraine. Like what's going on in Ukraine right now. So the UK public, in a way, is paying for that. Is paying for that war. Is contributing towards that war unknowingly. A lot of people today.
Yeah, well,
and this is the reason for inflation. The reason right now things are so things are the way they are. Everything's so expensive. A lot of people are finding it even harder to kind of like survive than like normal and etc. Because things are a lot of prices of stuff are astronomical. I remember even the other day I went in the supermarket trying to buy some eggs, say for example, price of eggs have almost more than doubled, if you see what I mean, in the last month or whatever, if you see what I mean. And certain other things, it's just like, it's
Yeah, it gets a bit silly, doesn't it, when we're all trying to survive in the world together and things are just going up and up, and we're making it more difficult and difficult,
Yeah.
Like say the poorer people, the people that don't get so much money, whatever, they go to shops and they have to sort of get the really cheap basic food. Do you know what I mean? And that's not healthy. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know where this is going in a kind of way, But with the the war and all that, I kind of like shut my mouth about that. Do you know what I mean? I just don't really want to get involved with it all in a funny way. I just
me too. But I think people out there that do see this video, if you live in the UK or whatever, the only reason I said that is because I'd like people to be aware of that. I think people should know. I don't think people should just be told that everything's going up because of inflation and not really given a reason as to why and where their money's going.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, apart from that, I won't go into it too much, because obviously, But yeah, going back to old age and retirement, as we've talked about before, I don't agree with this whole status quo of people should work from the age of 18 or 21 right up to their almost 70 years old and then get maybe 10, 15, 20 years at the most out of your retirement before, before it's your time, kind of thing, I just don't agree with that whatsoever. I don't agree with that, this kind of modern day slave system society of, people that have to work all their lives, spend predominantly most of their adult life working a job that a lot of people don't enjoy, a lot of people don't like, whatever. And they do that for 60 years or however long, 55 years, 60 years. And then they're lucky to get 10, 15 years of retirement money, and be able to relax. And by that point, like we said before in a previous episode, by that point, you're getting old. Your body's a bit more knackered, a bit more, might even be a bit more decrepit, depending on the kind of work you used to do and kind of the strain that how strenuous your job was to your physical health and your body. So.
67 in this country, isn't it?
Right now, at this present moment for men, it's 67. Yeah.
So like 67. You sort of like you think, will you be able to walk to the shop by then? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Life's not so enjoyable at that age. Do you know what I mean? It isn't. It is in a kind of way. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people are still actually. Yeah.
What I'm finding, as I'm getting older, I'm finding that I've always got my memories to look back on.
Yeah.
Like last year, the year before.
Yeah.
So I've got so many years to look back on now. 57 years,
Yeah.
It's an awful long time, so I've got 57 Christmases almost, 57 birthdays and so on,
Yeah. Yeah.
And that grows, it grows and it grows, And I've had a number of relationships in that time, do you know what I mean? I've been married and then for quite a while, for a number of years, and then I had another relationship and another one, And it's kind of like looking at your childhood after a while, And when you think when you're really old, like 100, and you look back on your life, you can see your life on the palm of your hand. Yeah, you can read it.
Yeah.
It's all there.
Yeah.
You've done it, and it's, you kind of write your own life in a funny way. You write your future in a funny way.
Yeah. Create your reality.
If you start having bad thoughts, say you wanted to rob a bank, say for instance, you're having bad thoughts and you think, oh, I'm going to do this and do it. You're having bad thoughts, do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's all memory.
Yeah.
All your bad thoughts belong to you, do you know what I mean? It's there's a lot of foolish people living, in the world today, and I think like.
Unfortunately.
Well, I think a lot of them have been born, unfortunately, by foolish parents too. Do you know what I mean? So that again, you're not being brought up properly. Do you know what I mean? Not
being raised and educated and etc. properly looked after. And,
exactly, it's all
loved and
pretty important. Like I say, teaching children to love themselves is, and even love all the trees, I think, is all you really need to know and understand in life.
It's like you said, love and respect yourself, and love and respect everything and everyone else.
Love everything alive, do you know what I mean? I mean, personally, I love nature, always have done, for a very, since a very young child, do you know what I mean? I was a sort of boy when I was 5.
Nature boy?
Well, not completely, I mean, when I was 5, I used to love playing with the ants. And believe it or not, I used to be very cruel. I used to kill them.
Yeah.
I used to go like this,
Smash them.
But then, when I was 7, I felt guilty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I used to play with the ants as a child. You got to remember, when I was younger, there was no computers.
Yeah.
There weren't things like, to that age, you know what I mean? It's a kind of a different world today, I think generally, like children, when I was younger, they were more into nature, because that's all there was. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
But today, it's different, there's more to, we got the internet for one, So they're kind of like distractions in a way, but I mean, on the internet, I quite love it, because you can look at nature in a big way, you can get close up to nature, look at a little beetle, say, very close up.
Yeah.
Instance, and all this kind of stuff. So I feel like the internet gives an extra dimension to nature in a funny way, because we're all going around wherever we live, right, taking photographs with our cameras and uploading them on the internet. Do you know what I mean? What a new world it is in a kind of way, where we're sharing the birds that we capture, and whatever, and we share them with our friends, so to me, I mean, I thought I used to look at books all the time when I was little. Yeah, when I was 5, of just bird books and animal books and things, you know, but mostly birds. Yeah, because I used to like looking at pictures a lot. Yeah, when I was a little boy.
Right.
And I thought, you know, even today I'm discovering new birds on the internet. Do you know what I mean? I thought I knew back then that I've seen every bird in the world, but you know, there's so many out there. It's phenomenal. You know what I mean? I could carry on finding more new ones. Do you know what I mean? To this day.
Mm.
And it's the internet that's sort of, I think it's kind of like made nature a more interesting place in a funny way. You know, if you look at it on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Waking people up in a kind of way, in many ways.
Yeah.
I think. But the internet's even getting older now, you know.
Yeah,
and one day, you know, like in the future, you know, can you imagine it's 200 years old now, the internet, you know. You know, so.
Yeah.
But, yeah, at the moment it's very young.
Very interesting to see what life would be like even in 20 years, 10, 20 years from now.
Yeah.
In terms of like technology and any, you know, any more technological advancements or any other, you know.
So the internet is really basically brand new. It's born in this century.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah, exactly.
You look how many centuries have gone past. This is the century where it's just been born recently, really. You know, you think, you know, where, you know, you've got like the windows and all that. It's quite fast now. And you know, the speed of it all. It's quite a beautiful machine in a kind of way. So, you know, you think about the memory, right, in our minds. It's got to be the most amazing thing in the universe when you think about it, the memory.
Yeah.
You know, like say, you know, we're lucky to be born, yeah? Yeah, and it's a miracle that we're born. But to have the ability to dream is a dream come true, do you know what I mean? It, you know, the ability to dream, you think about it, that is incredible.
Yeah.
But how can you dream, okay, without memories? Okay, you've got to have a memory. Okay, and the memory is the most fascinating thing that's ever been created in the universe, if you ask me. You know, a thing that kind of memorises things. Now you think about the internet and the computers, right? It's a memory machine.